You're 15 years old, standing on a cracked sidewalk in the worst neighborhood in the city. You're supposed to be in school right now, but school doesn't pay. Your mom works 2 jobs and still can't make rent. The fridge has been empty since Tuesday. A guy you know from the block, everyone calls him Rico, pulls up in a blacked-out sedan. He rolls down the window and tosses you a small plastic bag with a dozen tiny rocks inside. He says one sentence. Sell these. Keep 20%. You stand on that corner for 6 hours in the freezing cold. Your hands are shaking. Every car that slows down, your heart stops. Is it a customer? Is it a cop? By midnight, the bag is empty. You made $140. More money than your mom makes in a day. You walk home, peel off a few bills, and quietly slide them under the kitchen counter where she'll find them in the morning. You don't sleep that night. Not because you're scared. Because you're already thinking about tomorrow. You go back to that corner every single day after school. Within a week, you know every regular. Within a month, Rico gives you a bigger bag. You're not just selling anymore. You have 2 younger kids working under you, running deliveries on their bikes. You're 15, and you're already a manager. You're 19. You don't stand on corners anymore. That's for the new kids. You run a trap house now. It's an abandoned duplex on the east side that you've converted into a 24-hour operation. The windows are boarded up. There's a reinforced steel door with 3 deadbolts. Inside, a crew of 6 works in shifts, bagging, weighing, and distributing product around the clock. You buy wholesale from Rico's supplier. A single kilo for $22,000. You cute it, stretch it, and flip it into $22,000. You cute it, stretch it, and flip it into $80,000 in street sales in under 2 weeks. You're pulling in $15,000 a month, cash. You buy your mom a new car. You get a gold chain. You move into a decent apartment, but you keep the lease under a fake name. But the game gets violent fast. A rival crew tries to move in on your block. They shoot up your trap house at 3 a.m. Nobody gets hit, but the message is clear. You don't run. You don't call the police. You handle it yourself. Within 48 hours, you've sent a message back that is loud enough that nobody tries you again. You're not a kid on a corner anymore. You're a businessman who happens to sell poison. And business is booming. You're 24. Rico got arrested. His supplier needs a new distribution network, and you're the obvious choice. You're no longer just selling on the street. You are the supply chain. You control the flow of product for the entire south side of the city. Every dealer, every trap house, every corner, they all buy from you. You move product through a network of stash houses. Never more than 2 kilos in one location. You rotate locations every 72 hours. You communicate through burner phones that you destroy after a single day of use. You're bringing in $200,000 a month. You open a chain of laundromats and a used car lot to wash the money. On paper, you're a legitimate small business owner. In reality, you're the most powerful drug distributor in the city. You hire a lawyer on permanent retainer. Not a public defender. A real one. A shark in a $5,000 suit who has judges on speed dial. The DA starts sniffing around. They pull over one of your runners with half a kilo in the trunk. He doesn't talk. Nobody talks. Because everyone knows what happens to people who talk. You're untouchable. And every single day, your operation gets bigger. You're 29. The local game is too small for you now. A contact introduces you to a man from Sinaloa. You fly to Mexico on a private charter and meet him at a ranch in the mountains. Armed guards with automatic rifles line the dirt road. You sit across from a man who controls the production of 40% of the cocaine entering the United States. He tests you. Sends a single shipment of 50 kilos through the border hidden in a fleet of commercial produce trucks. Your job is distribution on the American side. You move all 50 kilos in 30 days. He's impressed. Now the shipments are weekly. You set up a sophisticated logistics network that would make FedEx jealous. Hidden compartments in tractor trailers. Fishing boats that make midnight drops off the Gulf Coast. Tunnels under the border that took 2 years to dig. You're making $2 million a month. You own properties in 4 states under 15 different shell companies. You have a fleet of luxury cars registered to people who don't exist. But the higher you climb, the more dangerous the game becomes. A rival cartel kidnaps one of your lieutenants. They send you a video. The message is clear. This isn't business anymore. This is war. You respond with overwhelming force. You now employ a private army of 30 heavily armed men who provide security for every shipment, every stash house, and every member of your family. You haven't touched the product yourself in years. You don't carry a phone. You communicate through hand-delivered encrypted notes. You are a ghost who moves mountains of product. You're 34. You don't just work with the cartel anymore. You are the cartel's most valuable American partner. You control the distribution network for the entire eastern seaboard. From Miami to Boston, nothing moves without your permission. You've absorbed, intimidated, or eliminated every competitor. You live in a $12 million waterfront mansion behind 10-foot walls with 24-hour armed security, infrared cameras, and a panic room built into the foundation. You have escape routes planned for 7 different scenarios. Your legitimate business empire now includes restaurants, nightclubs, real estate developments, and a construction company. You employ 400 people in your legal businesses alone. You donate to charities. You attend galas. The mayor shakes your hand at fundraisers. But underneath the silk suit, you're running an empire built on violence, addiction, and fear. You move 500 kilos a month across the border. Your network generates $30 million in revenue every single month. The FBI has an entire task force dedicated to you. They've been building a case for 3 years. They have wiretaps, surveillance photos, and informants. But every time they get close, the evidence disappears. Witnesses recant. Hard drives get corrupted. Your lawyers tie everything up in court for years. You are the most powerful drug lord in America, and the federal government cannot touch you. You're 39. You've realized something that most drug lords never understand. The real power isn't in the product. It's in the system. You stop expanding your drug operation and start buying influence. You funnel millions into political campaigns through a web of untraceable PACs and shell donations. You own 3 senators, a handful of federal judges, and the police chief of 2 major cities. When a new anti-drug bill threatens your supply routes, you make a phone call. The bill dies in committee. When a federal prosecutor gets too aggressive, they suddenly get transferred to a desk job in Alaska. You've built a legitimate financial empire worth $500 million. Private equity funds, international real estate, tech startups. The drug money has been washed so many times it's cleaner than most Fortune 500 revenue. You meet with heads of state in private. Not as a criminal. As an investor. A philanthropist. A man of influence. The cartels in Mexico now answer to you, not the other way around. You control the money, the logistics, the political protection, and the distribution. You've effectively become a shadow government operating inside the real one. You attend your daughter's school play on a Tuesday night. You sit in the audience like any other parent. Nobody in that room knows that the man clapping politely in row 3 controls a $2 billion criminal empire that stretches across 2 continents. You're 45. You don't exist. Every record of your criminal life has been systematically erased. Every witness is gone. Every piece of evidence has been destroyed or discredited. The FBI closed your case filed 2 years ago. As far as the world is concerned, you are simply a very successful international businessman. You live between 3 countries. A penthouse in Dubai. A villa on Lake Como. An estate in Singapore. You travel on 4 different passports, all legally issued, all under different names. Your drug empire still operates, but you haven't made a single decision about it in years. It runs itself through 7 layers of insulated command. The people at the bottom have never heard your name. The people at the top have never seen your face. Your legitimate holdings are now worth $4 billion. You sit on the boards of international corporations. You fund hospitals, universities, and clean water initiatives across 3 continents. Forbes has written about you. They called you a visionary. You sit on the terrace of your Lake Como villa, watching the sunset reflect off the water. A glass of wine in your hand. Your phone doesn't ring because nobody has your number. Your name doesn't appear in any database because you've made sure of it. You built an empire from a cracked sidewalk and a plastic bag. You climbed through every level of hell, and you came out the other side wearing a silk suit and a clean conscience. You take a sip of wine and smile. Because you won.